Whoa. 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 It's the illusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. What's going on, John Smith? How far down the rabbit hole am I? If the title makes perfect sense to me. Exactly, dude. It makes perfect sense. It is absolutely, totally. At this point, man, the lizard people know the lettuce is fake, dude. The lettuce is fake, man. That's all you need to know, dude. It's mostly water. It's all fake, dude. It is all fake. Fake as a cake in a lake. Yeah, man. Well, let's see. What so today I skateboarded for like 20 minutes just to keep loose. And then Al and I went and did our exploration of our local national forest and went and gathered firewood and filled up a truckload of cedar and brought that back. And we went 4x4 down and explored some new areas, which were cool. Love four-wheel drive. Can definitely get you in over your head. So we went and did a full day up in the forest and gathering firewood and doing all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting when you're up in the forest. It's pretty real. Like I that's the interesting thing. I was even thinking about that up in the forest today, of just how real it is. Like as far as like how fake everything else is. We were up there, we were 4-bying in some back Forest Service road, and we came across this. What is it? Let me see. What is it called? It's a group. We came upon a rafter of turkeys, dude. A rafter. A rafter of turkeys, dude. Of wild turkeys. It was a cool rafter of wild turkeys, about 10 of them. It was up in this really nice chunk of forest up there, a lot of cedar and grass, and it was just very vibrant and alive and just doing its thing, man. Yeah, about 10 of them, dude. It was rad. And so we're up there, and I don't know, when you're in the forest, you really do have a connectivity to the whole thing, dude. And then you come back down to the pavement, and it really gets fake super quick. Fake as all fakeness can be. And and so I came home, and the lizard people are running the show, and they will tell you that the lettuce is fake, dude. It's just cellulose, dude, and water. Let's see what's going on. And Drowning Mondays in the house. When the good dogs do bad things, the GoPro kids here, dude. Colby Walker, appreciate you. Yeah, I'm glad you're holding the space with us. And P. Mai, and yeah, I think it is. It's Saturday night, free as a bird, dude. Bill Gates, John Fadul. Yo, do you do lots of sewing? Not as much as I should. I've been I had to actually get this sewing machine to alter some drapes for the bunkhouse. And so I got the sewing machine all fired up, which gets me, these sewing machines are interesting. It's like it takes a minute to just get them all dialed back in. And then once you do, you're like, oh, I might as well like make something, dude. So I got to make something now. Maybe it's time to make a shirt or something, dude. Again, make some shirts. I used to make those racing stripe t-shirts, dude, with the Hawaiian print racing stripe on just a regular t-shirt. Maybe I should make some more of those again. I forgot how I used to make them though. I wonder if anyone still has one of those things. I was a big fan of them, but I think instead of the racing stripe this way, I'm going to do it this way. Make it go around or something. Did you enjoy skateboarding at night? Just enjoying the psyops. Psyops everywhere, D-Broom. Man, they are. So this is super interesting. I stumbled on a channel yesterday, and it's this Chinese professor. And he's Chinese, but he's like a professor. He's an American guy. And he was literally talking exactly what I was talking about at the end of the last stream about what it is that's going on with the state of Israel. I thought it was interesting because he confirmed exactly what I was thinking the other day, that it's deliberately deliberate. It's all part of the plan. Did anyone catch that crazy Bring the Reaper Donald Trump video today? Man, that is some dark energy, dude. What is the song called, dude? What is the Blue Oyster Cult? Blue Oyster Cult song. Fear the Reaper. Anyone see the Fear the Reaper video that Donald Trump put out today, dude? Bro. And I keep telling everybody, dude, like they're not hiding. They're literally broadcasting the message in plain sight, dude. Here, wait, let me see. I can spam the link to you here. Wait. My buddy D Brune's got the link right here, dude. Here, where is the let me copy. Don't do that. Wait. I don't want the sound. I'm gonna get let me see. I think this will work, dude. Let's see. Here it is. Here, dude. Check this out, dude. D Brune sent me this today. He does. He goes on to X, so I don't have to. It is just everyone go take a minute to watch that for a second. Just I'll give you a minute. Everyone just go watch that video for a minute and get back to me with a bunch of WFTs and oh my God, and like holy shit, dude. Like they are going full tilt boogie, dude. Full tilt Trump on the cowbell, dude. Yeah. Yeah, it's AI, dude, but it doesn't matter. It's the point being is it's being promoted and posted by the president himself, dude. Going FTB, dude. Yeah, dude. It's yeah, the lyrics are altered, the whole thing, dude. But it's interesting because if you watch it, they're telling you in no uncertain terms to get out of the city and get ready and hunker down and just laugh at it all, dude. Yeah, it's pretty epic, dude. It's right up there with the RNC inauguration, dude. So I think the interesting thing is just be Nero and play the fiddle. Exactly, dude. I like that. Good reference, man. You like that Ryland, dude? Everyone needs that, dude, right? It's a WFT. Like, what? That is not an SNL skit, dude, brought to you by the Lauren Michaels. That is an SNL skit brought to you by one DJT, dude. Yeah. Well, it's again is it's the I don't know, man. I don't know if I buy into the yeah, look at it. Look, I sent you the link, dude. It's right on his Truth Social, dude. I don't know. I it's I'm gonna take it, at face value that this isn't completely doctored up itself, which it could be. It's at this point, it's all questionable, dude. He's cause think about it. It goes back to the thing I've always talked about is in order for the look, this is the is Crescent City cool or not? I don't think so. No, the video's doctored. I'm saying the post on X saying that it's from Trump's Truth Social, dude. Like that's where I think that like you could be totally susceptible. Like they could literally be like, I don't know, dude. Do you think he's behind the keyboard of his own count? Yeah, I do. I actually think Trump's a full on truth guy. I think absolutely he's busy with this. Yeah, I think he's no different than anyone else, dude. I think he's busy trolling the entire world, dude. He seems too boomer, but boomers are all up in there. I don't get why people think boomers aren't up in there doing that shit all day long, dude. It's a weird blind spot to give the boomers, like they're just oblivious to the thing. I wouldn't argue. I would argue he's not a boomer anyhow, dude. I would argue he's an entertainer that hiding behind the lens of the boomers, dude. The boomers are the most phone addicted out anyway. Yeah, all they do is scroll Facebook and the whole thing. Yeah, the boomers are in on it, dude. I would say I don't even know if, like, again, as I don't even know if that's any different. The only one that I know who's not completely whacked with all this technology is my kid, dude. He's like, dude, what are you guys doing, dude? He fully looks at me and his mom and are just like, what are you guys doing with that stupid device, dude? Like he's the only, like him and the other homeschooled church kids, they don't mess with it, dude. They're like over it, dude. They're busy playing instruments and collecting rocks and running around building like Lego castles, dude. It's very interesting with the rebellion, the pushback, dude. How's it for the frequencies? Today's good. I'm selling t-shirts, of course. So get online, or don't forget to tip here. All right, since you're asking me, the ad is now, dude. The ad is now, dude. Listen, dude. People are out there selling you fear porn all day long. They're selling you fear porn, trying to get, and they aren't offering any solutions, dude. I dabble in fear porn, but I'm offering solutions, and I'm pretty much don't see the I'm an optimist about this whole thing. So if you want an optimistic message brought to you by a dude like me, You can tip your talker. You can go to my Etsy account. You can buy some t-shirts. I got some sweatshirts listed. I got art. If you're a big pocket spender, dude, I got some real nice, super big pieces of art you can put on your wall in your living room, made from high frequency lumber milled here in the Southern Sierras, dude. And anywho, with that said, I accept crypto, PayPal, and all that good stuff. But mainly, I like making the t-shirts, dude. I get a kick into going into the garage and silk screening. With that said, there's your ad for this episode of The Lizards Know the Lettuce is Fake, dude. Oh yeah, and don't forget, become a member, dude. Hinterlands is the only member in the stream right now. Come on, man. It's the easiest thing you can do, dude. Yeah, are the shirts made of high frequency material? Yeah, I pray over them as I make them, dude. It's Floyd's here, dude. Imagine not being a member. Yeah, I need to be a member again. Yeah, it helps out, man. It's the so enough with marketing myself. I do notice this is an interesting thing. It does work, dude. If I don't mention it, dude, guaranteed nothing happens. So I got to go to my buddy Jason Allen, who always said, I don't promote myself enough to be successful. So I'm making an effort to promote myself more, to try to be more successful. And with that said, let's get back to the lizard count, dude. So it's interesting with this whole thing. Did you guys celebrate the Obama's 33 years of marriage the other day, dude? 33 popping up everywhere, dude. 33, dude. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I do know they use the numbers as a code. So I'm not really that. So, but I accept their code. So I guess I am, dude. Intention married to Big Mike, dude. Yeah. The lettuce is Illuminati too, dude. Yep. The lettuce. If you're not, so you know what's rad is my lettuce keeps reseeding itself out in the garden, dude. We've been eating the lettuce from the garden all year now, dude. What's up with the oil station blowing up? What blew up, dude? I've been in the woods all day. I have no idea, dude. What's the latest, dude? Nemo Brown, JK, love the shirts, dude. Lettuce is yeah, dude. They got their hooks in the lettuce too, dude. Oil station, like a I don't know, dude. Let me know, fill me in. I'm realizing more and more that every day that it is a charade, but it's all like, I think the hardest part about doing this whole thing, life, is when you realize that it is all an illusion, and yet at the same time, it's very real. There's a weird, so like I go to a church, right? And I went like 2 years ago, I talked to the church and was like, cause I'm a trustee and whatever. I go to the meetings, or I used to. And I was like, hey man, like, what's the security protocols around here, dude? Like, do we have a man plan? And they're like, what do you mean? Like a man plan? Like us men are going to go like take care of business if anyone should attempt to roll hard at our church, dude. We're going to roll back even harder. And I got sort of blown off. And so I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about like, because the church is the only place where I go and gather with other people. Like generally, I don't like to be in crowds anymore. And if I do, I like to know right where the exit is. So in church, I sit in the back up against the wall with an eye on the door, dude. because I don't get how people aren't actually, and again, I think that's pretty paranoid on a certain level, but then again, I'd rather be alive and paranoid than dead and not paranoid. But so I don't know. I was thinking, so what I was getting at was it's interesting because I'm like, well, how does this work with a relationship with God, right? And I was like, well, God's given me discernment and God has given me enough clues to be like, you probably should keep an eye on the door, dude, because no one else really seems to want to. And being at a church nowadays is definitely a place of questionableness, dude, for that sort of thing. And so I was up in the woods and I had this thought about it today. And I was in the woods. And when I'm in the woods, I'm like pretty free, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I'm with God for sure, dude. Out there in the forest. And I was thinking about the fake real thing. And I was like, yeah, guys, church is tomorrow. And I was thinking about church and I was like, yeah, it's pretty real when you think when I like, because I definitely what's going on, Cactus from the land down under. Um, like I definitely like I sit and listen to the message, but I always keep an eye on that door, dude. It's weird. Like I sit and have my little weird plan because where I sit, like I gotta jump over like 3 people to get to the door, dude. But I definitely every Sunday when I sit down at church, I have my plan of what I'm gonna do. Is that weird? Or is that like weird paranoid, or is that just being like aware of like potentialities, dude? Like the odds of something like that happen are statistically astronomically low. But then again, so is living on a planet around the third rock out in the middle of some solar system, dude. So the odds, the astronomically low realities are actually truths if you actually think about how rare of a situation. So again, Al asked me we were driving up into the forest today. Speaking of like the absurdities of life and the whole thing. We were driving up into the thing and he's like, how do they know the core of the earth is solid, dude? And I was like, dude. I was like, dude, keep asking those questions, dude. Is uh yes, the course interviews. It's interesting because like he's like because he was so we're sitting there driving up the thing and he started talking to me about the mantle. He's like the mantle, and then there's the and I was like, isn't the crust part of the mantle? He's like, no, the crust is above the mantle, the plate tectonics. He's Adam, we don't, that's his own studying of his own. And we were talking about plate tectonics and we're driving up the side of the mountain, and he just goes, how do they know that the core of the earth's solid, dude? Like, explain that to me. I was like, dude. Oh, I know why we were talking. He was like, we were driving up the hill, and he was like, so do you think there's the possibility that there's dinosaurs living in caves way deep down in the earth? And I was like, well, if you follow the hollow earth theory, and he's like, what's the hollow earth theory? And I explained the hollow earth theory to him. And he's like, yeah. So there could be dinosaurs living in the mantle. And I was like, yeah, I go, yeah, under the crust. And he was very specific about the mantle and plate tectonics and the thing of where dinosaurs still might be hiding out. And And I was like, yeah, there's definitely a theory about the tunnels under the Earth's surface and what's under there. And then just like that, he goes, well, how do they know the Earth's core is solid? How do they know this? Again, I was stumped with the question of like, I was going to have like the minute you bump into it, you're like, yeah, that's a pretty good question, dude. Oh, they fucking send radio waves. They did a bunch of calculations based upon gravity, dude. Like, yeah, they have ultrasound, bro. They bounced a quarter on a bed and heard the echo go through the planet, dude. It's the whole thing. When you really think about how they try, it's just stupid. And so I laughed because I was like, I'll like just don't ever stop asking questions like that. And because we had this thing where we're moving into algebra, right? We're doing algebra now because he's pretty far ahead in math. So we're doing algebra. And I was like, all of a sudden algebra gets really like weird. And I was like, listen, man, because he was asking me like, why does this happen and that happen with minuses and this is and that? And I go, look, dude. We just got to follow the rules till we know the rules. And then you can ask those questions. Because if you don't know the rules, then you're asking the questions, you're getting abstract. So it was like the thing where he was like, and it was a prime example today where he was like, I asked him if what he understood about the setup of the supposed Earth's layers, and he's fully knowledgeable about the whole thing, dude. And so then when he hit me with this, so how do they know if the core is solid? And I was like, dude, don't ever stop asking questions like that, man. I really do. I really do sometimes sit back and go, I may have a life of being an idiot and a fool and blundering, but the one thing I know that I have done absolutely correctly is not putting my child in the education system. It's like I don't know about anything else I've done in my life with certainty. Like I know this one thing. I can say for sure that the best thing I've ever done, the smartest, most calculated thing I've ever done. I don't buy the dinosaurs thing either. I'm a non-dinosaur guy, dude. But I will say that homeschooling Al was the one thing that is gonna maybe save him, dude. The dragons, dude. No, yeah, just don't put them in public schools, dude. Whatever you do. Homeschooling's like it's warfare. There's the moments of warfare, but it's really not that hard, dude. The kids the children have an innate want to learn, dude. Just fill your house full of books, dude. I mean, I guess my thing is the second thing that I've done properly is I haven't had him sitting around a bunch of technology to answer his questions, dude. Dude, the other night I went in there, he was reading the dictionary, dude. I was like, why are you reading the dictionary? He's like, oh, I don't want to start my new novel right now. And I want to start it in the morning and I don't have anything to read. So I figured I'd read the dictionary. And I was like, you know what, dude? Like, you know what they say? The dictionary is the pieces of all the other books, dude. And yeah, so it's very interesting. So I would say that there's no point in homeschooling if you're going to homeschool with the electronics, dude. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? Might as well send him to school. Right on, Anthony Rosati. Yeah. The dinosaurs were always called dragons until 1842. If you get into the British Museum of Science, is it the British Academy of Science and what they did in the 1800s? It's pretty interesting. Pre-Smithsonian, dude. Well, that's why it was zeros at Greenwich and the whole thing. No, I'm a firm I don't believe in the dinosaurs, dude. Kind of guy. I don't not in the way they make it out to be. Um um Freebird. No, but my thing about this is I'm not I don't get in there and crush certain things. It's very interesting with Al. Like from the very first Christmas, I remember having him as a little baby, like a little baby, his very first Christmas, and holding him and looking at him and going, Santa Claus isn't real and Christmas is fake. And my wife's like, why are you telling him that when he's this young? And I go, I want him to know from this very moment, from his very first Christmas on, that it's fake. And she's like, okay, I respect that. But I remember her tripping because I was sitting on the couch with them and it was like, because we do the weird thing of because my wife's birthday is December 1st. And my gift to her was Christmas on her birthday. So on her birthday, I set up the Christmas tree. It's not really a Christmas tree, it's her birthday tree. But it was the thing because when we were having Al, like, because she knew my whole trip about I'm an anti-Christmasite. And because I celebrate the birth of the baby Jesus, then you could argue that that's not accurate to that time of year, but whatever. I get the whole concept of the paganism of the renewal of the year and all that kind of stuff, dude. So I was like, look, man, and she's like, man, like the whole Christmas thing and the kids and the deal and I was like, look, I'm not, no, dude. And my wife's a little bit more practical, if you will, on a level. And I'm sort of militant about it, dude. And I remember and I was like, no, we're not doing Christmas. And I was sitting there and it was her birthday was coming up December 1st. And I was like, what am I going to get her for her birthday? Al was just born, right? And I was working with my buddy Sam, and I was like, Sam, we got to go over to the Home Depot over in the valley and get a Christmas tree. He's like, I thought you didn't do Christmas. I go, I'm giving my wife Christmas for her birthday. He's like, what? I go, dude, I'm gonna surprise my wife on her birthday, and I'm gonna set up this Christmas tree tonight in the middle of the night. And I'm gonna decorate it, and I'm gonna give her Christmas as her birthday present. And he's like, I kind of see your angle. So my angle is we don't really do Christmas, so to speak. We celebrate my wife's birthday in a weird way, if you get what I'm saying. And then we do the American dream under the tree on December. But we're very clear that it's about the birth of the baby Jesus. And so my son has never ever thought that Santa Claus or Christmas was real. That's the dinosaurs. I can let that one go. The dinosaurs, he can figure that out on his own. And I'm not the one to be like, stop playing with your dinosaur toys, dude. Like, cause where does that stop? Cause that's like, you're not gonna do any Legos, dude. Cause that stuff's fake too, dude. Like that's what I mean. Like there's a level, like the one thing I'll tell you, dude, with the me being a truther is I don't truther my child. I don't get into that. I give him the information to make his own decisions, dude. If he wants the earth to be a globe, and that's the conclusion he's come to with all the information at his disposal, then that's his choice. If he wants it to be a realm, he can have it be a realm. He doesn't intuitively, he doesn't buy into the space thing, dude. He has some very deep questions about when we study space, but I don't do any of that, like the space is, I do, but not like in an educational sense. He knows all the planets and this and that and the basic theory of it all. But when he asked a question, like, because we were reading something, because we got a Legos, the thing, and it has the Voyager thing in there, and he was like, so how did that send a signal from way out there? And I go, that's a great question. I go, that's an excellent question. He said, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I go, keep with that. Keep asking that question. I can't answer it for you, dude. So that's my sort of premise with it all is I don't do indoctrination. By his very nature, he's already indoctrinated, being a child of a truther. But I do know that at a certain point, all children rebel against their parents. So I wouldn't want that to be the hill he rebels on, dude. I way rather have him rebel on other things than his ability to glean information and discern with his own mind, dude. Don't build mental walls, dude. Yeah, so that's my trip with it. Like, as a dude who absolutely does not believe certain things, or believe is always the wrong word, dude. Believe. I don't know them to be true. I would be a better statement is I don't know them to be true. But we focus on math. We're super math gnarly in this house. I am with him. Math is like, I don't know what I guess we're talking about homeschooling. I guess because we're talking about the lizard people saying that the lettuce is fake. Math to me is the one thing that is non-negotiable besides reading, but he already loves to read, dude. And he's an avid reader. It was weird, dude. He was all into yeah, I don't like I've never used the word believe, dude. It's but what I will say is math every day. And it's paid off. And music every day. He's required to play his drums every day and do math, and he reads every day on his own anyhow. And then we will sit and we will read history together, and he does all his other stuff too, dude. But what I've found is his natural curiosity makes him. It was funny. So we were doing math the other day, and he came out and asked me something. I was busy, and I go, look, Al, I'm going to tell you something right now, dude. You're old enough to hear this. I go, at one day, you're going to surpass me in your understanding of math. I go, dude, I'm in here. I can sit and teach you this. I get it. But one day, you're going to know more than me about math. And I go, at this point, you know enough to prove me wrong with some stuff, dude. He's already there. Where like he argues now, and he's proved me wrong a couple times. And I'm like, dude, trust your math, dude. Trust it now. It's very interesting because he's like, he can trust his math now. He just turned the page on that like a week ago. He started, because before he would come and we'd always work on it, and he would like, and I was like, look, you're at the point now where you gotta trust your math. Don't come and ask me questions anymore. Like, unless we're doing something new, like, trust your math. And he does, dude. And we're doing complex stuff, dude. I will say that, dude. And with math, you can calculate the mass of Earth with shadows, dude. Totally, dude. Yeah, I mean, when good dogs do bad things, I'm a certain level of like I don't want to be. I think I don't want to be leave him to fend for himself in the thing. I do pepper the playing field with knowledge. I do encourage. I do sit and read. I'm huge about history. Like I sit and make him read history with me. Like that's something that I'm about. So I require him to be about history and reading and understanding. And the thing that I try to tell him is I go, the reason you want to know history is because it'll give you the most amount of information on what's going to happen tomorrow and why what's happening today is happening, dude. And it's interesting because if you really study history, and again, is the premise of history is the people that won wrote the history, dude. So we do a lot of alternative history. I would say that's why I wasn't a big dude with what was it, the 1692 project or what it is. I know it was all wokeness, but like I definitely believe that you should be studying history from the colonial perspective and the indigenous perspective and the involuntary perspective at the same time. I don't really see anything wrong with that, dude. But as far as it goes, is so yeah, like we study a lot of history from the loser's perspective, dude, if you will, dude, the vanquished. Um, my Death Trap Productions, my younger sister asked me to help with calculus recently, dude. Yeah, that's some other stuff. But you know what's cool about the math thing is here's our like what we were working on the other day, dude. Where is it? We're studying the getting in on the X. That's it. That's what we were working on was it Saturday, Friday night? Last night in math is the exponent rules, dude. It's right on the edge of where I start to get a little bit lost. No, that's the cool thing, Floyd, is I forgot most of it too. And then you bring it back and I've found that teaching math, no F math, dude. Math's the key to the whole thing, dude. You do know that math is like the universal language, dude. Like math actually, like, especially when you get into the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio and all of that stuff is all of this is math. Like math is actually the thing that can explain the electromagnetic frequencies, dude, with sines and cosines and all that stuff, dude. Island Ryland, dude. I think they could. I think they could. Algebra is taught pretty easily. 90% of high schoolers in this country could not decipher that whiteboard. Probably, I mean, the math scores have fallen apart in this country, dude, for sure, dude. It's can't be contradicting yourself like that, homie. You know, conversations amongst yourselves, dude. It's very interesting. No, the math thing is important, and that's something that 1 + 2 = 4, dude. No, the math thing is something that I do believe is code breaking. The understanding of all right, this is what I was getting into before I got into your guys' bunny hole there, was when I started to teach owl math, I found it to be fascinating on a level that I took for granted. Like I remember the stumbling block of talking about the concept of one versus the value of one, and being very, and it being of like a trippy thing. Like, no, it's interesting. Like the algebra is getting with the it's very interesting. I've realized more and more that like why I like math is because it's pretty straightforward. And I don't mean like it can be as complicated as you want, but what I'm trying to say is like the math is based upon some sort of universal continuity, dude. And I appreciate it for that. And I don't think that, and I think that I was listening to something the other day, or I was reading it in one of these books I was reading about how some people think in math. And I was like, yeah, imagine being able to think in math. Like explain this whole reality mathematically. Like see it as numbered values. And that's sort of isn't that sort of what the Matrix is all about, right? When Cypher's, remember when Neo comes up and they're drinking and Cypher's watching the green screen and he's like, I don't even see the code anymore. I just see a girl in a red dress and a girl in a red dress. And the whole thing is like, imagine at a certain point, if you truly could speak and think in mathematics, would you not view life very differently, dude? I find it is like, I'll never know personally, but I'm like, because it's tied to the drums too, dude. I've been tripping out on Owl playing drums too lately. Is he's got it. It was weird. He went to do his, because he has a little church band he's part of now. He's him and my friend's son and one of the other kids' sons. They have the little church band, dude. Owl's on drums. There's another kid on guitar and another kid sings. And Al went in there and he's like a natural, dude. He doesn't have any, and it was rad because his first little show he had, his performance for the youth group, he was like, Dad, I don't want you there. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I didn't do my own thing today, dude. And I was like, all right, man. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, totally, dude. And it was rad because he went and did his own performance on the drums and killed it, dude. And like, my buddy shot a little video clip of it for me, but I was like, he doesn't have any, he's not afraid of the stage or being, it was interesting. I watched him, he was practicing and he was doing his drumming and he dropped a stick, dude. And he didn't miss a beat, dude. He reached down, he grabbed the stick and gave it up and then popped right back in. I was like, dude, that's on, you can't teach that. And so it was funny. I was sitting here the other day and I was doing something and he started playing his drums and I heard it. He did something that I could hear as a dude who loves to listen to music. I was like, whoa, dude, like you're doing your, like, and it's mathematics in a weird way, dude. I trip on it, dude. So anyway, I think that's what we're talking about, breaking through the thing, right? So okay, so this goes back to the whole premise I was talking with my advertisement. Like realistically, like the system is out to get us, right? The system is totally corrupt. It's stacked against us. But the truth of the matter is the system has to tell us exactly what they're doing. So, Donald Trump launched his little bring in the Reaper, and they show us everything they're going to do. And they've basically, in no uncertain terms, said, like, you need to, like, if you want to save your children, even in that Reaper video from Trump, it says, dude, keep your children close or something. That, like, the standout line in there is, you keep your children close, yeah, keep your children close, because that's how they used to do it back in the day, right? And I think that's the whole thing. I think that is the only play we really have to make, is, generationally speaking, is to pull in our offspring and educate them and not indoctrinate them, and make them able to navigate their brain on their own, dude. I do really think, because I see the indoctrination. I don't see a point of educating your child homeschool style and indoctrinating them either. I don't believe in indoctrination. There's enough, by just the default of you being a parent, you're going to indoctrinate your kid to a certain level. But on a grander scheme, I am not into forced thought patterns, dude. Even to the point where the other, like the skateboarding and the surfing and all that stuff, it's all volunteer, man. Like I said, the only thing he's required to do is play drums, read, and do math, and feed his animals, dude. But besides that, dude, like, and I found that, like, just the very nature of an unindoctrinated child, they want to fill themselves with knowledge and data and interest. Like, that's like, ooh. Whoa, man, they didn't like that, dude. I thought I heard someone playing the drums there. Probably the best education you can get. Music saved me and eventually connected me to my higher power and got me sober. There you go, Danny Fluck. Yeah, I know the music. You like that, dude? They dropped me right then and there, dude. No. So I am an optimist, dude. I really am not tripping on this doomsday plane vibe, the ship of fools. I really realize every day more and more that I study. Like, listen, like, I have a buddy of mine who we exchange a lot of information. He exchanges more with me than I with him, but then I do this and he gives me the information. But I have a number of those buddies out there that keep me in the loop with information. And I go through it, and I allow myself to have my emotional responses and my gut reactions. And then I do sit back and think about it all and come to the conclusions that I do. And the conclusion I really do at the end of the day conclude is, there's nothing to fear going on here, man. You know what? I was up in the woods and I was thinking about this. Remember that dude, John Lee Malvo? You guys remember who John Lee Malvo was, dude? I think that's his name, dude. So in 2002, I got the name right. Do you remember John Lee Malvo, dude? I think we think that everything's so dire and crazy and nuts right now. The DC sniper, dude. That dude's plan was so diabolical and so evil. The reason I was thinking about it was, I was like, I need to go to Michael's to get some t-shirts, to make some t-shirts. I was 4x4ing up the side of this mountain, dude, right? I'm 4x4ing up the side of this mountain. And my mind is like, I need to get some more orange t-shirts because it's hunting season out here in the woods, and I need to make some more orange t-shirts. And I'm like, we shouldn't be walking around the woods with green t-shirts, probably not idea. And I'm like, I got to go to Michael's. And at the same time, I was like, yeah, Michael's. Remember when America was really scary, when there was a dude like in a car sniping people at Michael's? And I was like, dude, like that makes what's going on now seem tame. Think about that insanity that was going on in 2002. That was 2002. That was almost 25 years ago, dude. Yeah, dude. There you go, cactus. Apricots in the house. And what I'm getting at is at the end of the day, there's nothing to be afraid of, dude. These people's game is weak. It's lame. They're telling you exactly what they're doing. And I absolutely know that we just plant food in the ground. It grows. We eat the food. It makes us feel better. We educate our children at home, and we just go about our lives, dude, and stop living in their matrix of fear. I had this conversation the other day. I was up in the Owl and I were up in the forest a week ago, 10 days ago, and we were up cutting up wood, and a Forest Service guy drove around the corner and checked our permits and the whole thing. And we got in this big long conversation for like 40 minutes, dude. Like the super cool forest guy, been up here since like the 70s, dude. And we were talking about the whole thing. And what we were talking about was like how few people even know where the forest was. Cause he was like, oh, it's trippy. You guys are up here, man. That I've been driving around up. He drives around up in the forest like every day, all day long. And he's like, I never see anyone over on this. And you guys are the only people in the forest today, dude. And you're gathering your wood and you're doing your thing. And I got Owl back there humping logs and just fired up on it. And we were talking about the thing, and he's like, as long as we're doing this, that doesn't exist, is what I'm saying. Is I know it seems daunting sometimes, but the more and more I study it is the more and more this is the thing. If they're lying about everything, why would they be telling you the truth about them, the power they have? They're lying about that too. They're lying about everything, dude. And they're lying about their doomsday protocols. And they're like, oh my God, it's the end and the whole thing. Like if they're lying all the way through the whole thing. There's not, they don't, it's not like, oh, they're telling you the truth about this and they're lying about everything else. No, they're lying about everything, like everything across the board, dude. And when you realize that, yes, they're lying to you about nuclear weapons. There aren't any nuclear weapons, dude. They talked about it again the other day. They were talking about the Orishnik rockets that act like nuclear weapons without the nuclear fallout. They're literally inserting a new missile into the dialogue. They started like 2 years ago. The Orishnik rockets, they're literally inserting a new the supersonic missile. They are inserting it into the dialogue slowly because there are no nukes, dude. They're literally like they're doing it slowly. I'll give them that, but they intentionally gatekeep information. But that's a lie too. And I don't mean that it's a lie that they gatekeep the information. But the information is publicly accessible because the information is inside of us, dude. It's the weird thing of when you truly get you wrap your head around it. All the information you need to be free is inside of you. It is activated with conscious contact with God. I was watching this dude the other night who's kind of interesting. He was talking about the free energy thing and the whole thing. And it's like, we know the energy is free, but we are the Tesla coils. That's the missing piece of the data, is that we're the Tesla coils, and it's super hard because in order to be a functioning Tesla coil, you kind of got to get your like diet together, which means you got to sort of grow your own food, which means you got to sort of live in this cyclical situation which is very hard, dude. It's very hard because every time you put your shoes on, you disconnect. Every time you get in a car, you disconnect. Every time you hold one of these things, you disconnect. And it's, but we have the information inside of us, dude. The lie is that you don't have everything you need because you were created by God, dude. Yeah, just like AI is a threat, but they created it. I don't really think AI is a threat, dude. I like, that's what I was trying to talk. I think that AI is a misnomer. That a digital consciousness is not a threat. The AI between us and the digital consciousness is just is fake, dude. It's another bluff, dude. Is Kernville similar to Colorado, dude? I don't really know what that means. It's a confusing question. Colorado's pretty woke, dude. You know what we always used to say? Friends don't let friends go to Colorado, dude. Colorado's always been I've always had a weird interaction with Colorado, dude. I don't know what it is about Colorado and people from Colorado. People from Colorado like stand out like a sore thumb. It's very weird, dude. I mean, I don't think it's any different than a person from California sticks out like a sore thumb in Idaho, dude, or anywhere, dude. But AI is just a thing to make people's portfolios. Yeah. Colorado's a weird thing, dude. How can you tell they're from? I don't. It's just something. There's a entitled self-righteousness vibe. Colorado's got it, like when you like, you can literally be sitting there and go, oh, that person's from Colorado. And it's something about they carry a thing. It's very interesting, dude. They were, nah, it's not even the social justice things new. It's funny, like it used to be a different Grand Junction. Yeah, but Grand Junction's its own weird island, though, dude. That whole corner down there. Boulder's a trip. Yeah, I've hung out a bunch in Boulder, dude. I used to go up to Vail a lot. I don't know. It's a weird. What about Montana? Montana, dude. Do you ever really get to meet anyone from Montana? What's up, Bird? Am I done? Sounds like a voice note. Yeah. All right. My agent, my producer says the show's over. All right, you scram, dude. Stop that, dude. I'm patting you. You're antagonizing me. Stop it. Evil laugh. Go. Take your evil laugh and go, and I'll wrap it up. He likes to antagonize me. Anyway, yeah, my producer says I got to turn it off, dude. Yeah. So I'm gonna go spend some time with the bird and wrap up the evening. And with that said, links down below. Get some t-shirts, PayPal, crypto, all that good stuff. Tip your talker, and most importantly, like, subscribe, and most importantly, just use the name tags. And we will be back. We will be back, dude. All right. With that said, good night.